They tell me not to make eye contact. Stay behind the red line, the handler says, sliding open the reinforced viewing panel. Koba is pressed against the far wall of his enclosure, motionless, like a statue carved out of shadow. Then the door creaks, and he moves, slowly, deliberately, straight toward me. His knuckles drag softly against the concrete. His head lowers. For a second I think he's going to charge, but he stops just shy of the glass and looks straight through me. Not with rage, not with fear, with something else, something that makes my chest tighten. He's a ticking bomb, the zookeeper mutters behind me. You'll see it soon enough. Has he attacked recently? I ask, eyes still locked on his. 2 weeks ago, she replies. Went for Reynolds, no provocation, just snapped. I nod, pretending to take notes. I've already memorized the incident reports, all of them. Biting, glass pounding, sudden aggression. They say he's no longer safe. That's why I was flown in. A neutral party, fresh eyes, a quiet signature. What they don't know is that I've seen this kind of mislabeling before. I watched my old mentor get pushed out for refusing to back a lie about an elephant's behavior. I kept my head down then, said nothing. It cost her everything. And me? I ran, took jobs no one else wanted, sanctuaries, high-stress contracts, silent cages, and quiet paperwork. Now, here I am, Dr. Caleb Hart, low-profile behavioral specialist with a decent record and no enemies. Exactly the kind of person you call when you want something signed without a fuss. But from the moment Koba looked at me, I knew this wouldn't be that kind of job. That evening, I come back alone. The zoo is closed. The halls echo with buzzing fluorescence. I lean against the railing, eyes fixed on the enclosure. Koba sits with his back to me in the far corner. Still, focused. But he isn't watching me. He's watching the troop. A juvenile drifts too close to the partition gate. Koba grunts, low and firm, and the youngster retreats. Not frightened, obedient, safe. It's not rage, it's protocol, it's protection. Later, in the break room, I comb through old security footage. I rewind. Fast forward. The pattern's there. Every outburst matches a specific trigger. Staff entering from the hallway near the juvenile pen. Always when Reynolds is on shift. I don't want to be paranoid. I don't want to be wrong. But it's there. Again and again. The next morning, Koba paces in a tight loop. Tension rides high on his shoulders. Someone passing above throws a pebble into the enclosure. It skips near him. He flinches, not from fear, but from calculation. Then shifts his weight, standing squarely between the troop and the glass wall. A shield. I write that down. Underline it twice. Everyone else sees a threat. But I'm beginning to wonder if Koba's not the one they should be afraid of. Because the real danger might be wearing a name tag and holding the keys. I ask for full access to Koba's case history. No summaries, no PR scrub, raw data only. Marla's face tightens. You'll need to go through admin, she says. We've had database issues since the last upgrade. Some of the older logs may be incomplete. She doesn't meet my eyes. An hour later, I'm handed a thin manila folder and a flash drive. That's it. The hard drive inside my laptop whirs as I click through digital logs. Most are one-liners from junior staff. Aggressive when prompted. Display behavior escalated. Refused contact protocol. No context, no video, no incident reports with timestamps. Everything reads like it was written in hindsight. But tucked into the physical folder is something they missed. A printed behavior sheet from 18 months ago. Koba was briefly removed from the main habitat for disciplinary separation. No injury noted, no incident described. The staff name next to it, Reynolds. A chill runs through me. I flip pages fast. Same pattern. Anytime something unprovoked happened, Reynolds was either the reporter or the only staffer listed on site. I return to the enclosure. It's quiet this time. Koba lounges in the shade while two juveniles chase each other along the logs. I take a seat by the viewing pane and observe. 10 minutes pass, then 20. Reynolds enters from the staff corridor behind the exhibit. He's not on feeding duty, just passing through. He doesn't even look at Koba, but Koba sees him. In a second, the gorilla's posture changes. Ears tilt, legs brace. His entire body shifts forward in one fluid, silent movement. A juvenile strays near the front gate. Koba moves like a wall, placing himself between the staff door and the others. He doesn't roar. He doesn't charge. But the air crackles with threat. Reynolds catches my gaze through the glass and smirks, then keeps walking. I record the whole thing on my phone. Later that day, I pull up staff logs. I'm looking for a pattern of complaints, maybe notes about Koba's behavior correlating to staff schedules, but half the logs have been scrubbed or archived. One name keeps appearing, though, Dr. Elise Moreno, former primate behaviorist, resigned 2 years ago. I ask Marla where she went. She didn't leave on the best of terms, she says carefully. Elise was intense. She thought something was going on that the rest of us couldn't see. What kind of something? Marla shrugs. I don't know. She filed a couple incident reports that got rejected by the board. Then she left. That's all I remember. But it isn't. I can see it in her eyes. She remembers more. That night, I search Elise Moreno's name. She's still in state. Teaching night classes at a community college. I send an email. No response. The next morning, I come in to find my access badge has been downgraded. Surveillance archives locked. My name removed from the behaviorist rotation schedule. Someone doesn't want me digging any deeper, and the worst part is, I still don't have proof. Just instincts, just silence. But Koba looks at me now like he's waiting for something. Not rescue, recognition. She makes me wait 30 minutes outside a locked office door. When Dr. Elise Moreno finally opens it, she doesn't smile. Her eyes dart behind me, scanning the hallway like she expects someone to be following. You said this was about Koba, she says. Not here. Walk with me. We circle the edge of campus, her pace clipped, voice low. She hasn't spoken his name in 2 years, but the anger hasn't dulled. If anything, it's sharpened with time. I filed 3 reports, she says, all ignored. The board said I was emotional, overreacting, accusing without evidence. What did you see? Elise's jaw tightens. Reynolds. He didn't hurt them when anyone else was around. But Koba always reacted before we could, every time. He wasn't lashing out. He was stepping between, shielding the young ones. I saw it. You've seen it too, haven't you? I nod. My throat's too dry to speak. I had notes, footage. They disappeared from the server. Then my badge started failing. Then I got a severance opportunity. She pauses. You're not going to win this, Caleb. If you push, they'll bury you too. I leave with a copy of one thing she kept. A still image from a corrupted video frame. Koba, arms outstretched, standing between Reynolds and a trembling juvenile. Teeth bared, eyes blazing. Not in fury, in warning. Back at the zoo, I find my login credentials revoked. My locker is empty. A note on my desk. Evaluation complete. Thank you for your service. They've made it clear I'm done. But Koba doesn't know that. I walk the long way around to the enclosure, staying out of view. He's pacing again, tense. Eyes fixed on the staff hallway. A few handlers laugh nearby, tossing enrichment toys into the corner. Reynolds leans against the fence rail, sipping his coffee like it's a stage cue. Koba sees him. Something in the gorilla's posture shifts. Not a display this time, not a warning. Something slower. He sits down, calm, still. The troop behind him eats in peace. I realize what's happening. Koba's learned. He knows that aggression gets him punished, isolated, flagged, restrained. So now he watches without reacting. But he's still placing himself between them, still guarding them, even as the clock runs out. I take the printout from Elise and slide it into my back pocket. Then I start writing. I type for hours, everything I've seen, heard, suspected. I include timestamps, footage descriptions, inconsistencies in the logs, the staff rotation overlaps, Elise's resignation. I attach the photo, and then I send it. Not to the zoo, to the press, anonymously. That night, I drive back to the enclosure. Just one last visit, one more look. Koba is already waiting at the window. He doesn't move, doesn't blink. Neither do I, because now he knows he's not alone anymore. The story breaks 5 days later. A leaked report. Anonymous whistleblower. Allegations of abuse, cover-up, and negligence inside the zoo's primate program. The headline flashes across national feeds. Gorilla set for euthanasia was protecting his own, says insider. Within hours, it spreads. News vans cluster outside the zoo. A protest forms by the staff gate. People hold signs with Koba's face drawn in bold ink. Not a monster, one says. Guardian, not killer. I stay off social media. My phone buzzes nonstop, but I don't answer. I haven't left my apartment in 3 days. Then a knock at my door. Marla stands there, soaked from the rain, holding a cardboard file box. She doesn't speak, just sets the box on the table and walks away. Inside, a copy of my behavior reports, Elise's image, and a printed email from Reynolds to admin. Dismissive, smug, and damning. They knew. They'd all known. I walk until my feet blister. I circle the entire zoo perimeter from outside the fence, past the locked gates, past the protesters, past the glass I can't look through anymore. They suspend Reynolds, launch an internal investigation, say the euthanasia order was premature. Koba is pulled from public display and transferred to an off-site sanctuary pending long-term reevaluation. The zoo never mentions my name, and I don't ask them to. 3 weeks later, I take a bus north, through hills, forest roads, and fog-wrapped curves, until we reach the edge of a sprawling private reserve, Green Ridge Wildlife Sanctuary. I volunteer under a false last name. Groundskeeping, habitat cleaning, no contact hours, no questions asked. It's quiet, healing. I sleep better than I have in years. And one morning, while hauling feed buckets to the enclosure gates, I see him. Koba. He's out in the open now, no glass, no barriers, just a wide field, tall trees, and a climbing structure wrapped in rope and sun-warmed stone. He doesn't charge, doesn't pace. He just watches. The others are with him, the young ones, playful, loud, free. A female approaches and grooms his shoulder. He leans into it. I feel my throat tighten. Later, I ask the sanctuary lead if I can transfer to primate care. She narrows her eyes. You worked with him before, didn't you? I did, I say, but not the way I should have. She studies me for a moment, then nods. They start me slow, observation shifts, feeding routines, maintenance. I learn their names, their habits. I learn what peace looks like after fear. Weeks pass before I'm allowed to approach his enclosure again. Koba is sitting near the water trough. When I step into the observation ring, I keep my distance. He glances at me. Then, and I swear it isn't my imagination, his eyes soften. Not in recognition, not quite. In acceptance, because maybe, somehow he knows. I didn't save him. Not really. But I listened. And for once, that was enough. There's a stillness to the sanctuary, mornings I never knew I needed. Mist rolls across the grass like breath. The forest stirs slowly, birds calling from treetops, and somewhere in the distance, a low familiar grunt rises above the branches. Koba. He doesn't startle me anymore. It's been 6 months since the transfer, 3 since the zoo quietly issued a statement admitting failures in internal oversight. No charges, no names. Just a carefully worded pledge to improve safety and animal welfare. Reynolds vanished from the industry. Marla retired early. Elise teaches full-time now. We exchange emails sometimes, short, grateful. And me? I'm still here. Not as a consultant, not as a specialist, just part of the rotation. I wake before dawn, clean habitat fencing, prep food, Observe troop dynamics, no reports, no signatures, just presence. Koba has flourished, his coat's shinier, his posture relaxed. The younger ones cling to him like a mountain, climbing, tugging, curling under his arm when they sleep. He lets them, always watching, always steady. The aggression is gone, but the strength, the awareness, is still there, undeniable, unapologetic. Some staff are still wary of him. They keep a distance, whisper things like residual trauma and high-alert dominance. But I know better now. Koba doesn't guard out of fear. He guards because it's in his blood to protect. One afternoon, we bring enrichment crates out to the clearing. I kneel near the supply bin, sorting fruits by type, when I hear a low huff behind me. Not threatening, curious. I turn, slow. Koba stands 10 feet away, alone. For a long moment, neither of us moves. His eyes meet mine. Not challenging, just quiet. There's nothing between us now, no glass, no clipboard, no lies. I reach into the crate and pull out a ripe banana, hold it gently in my open palm. Koba doesn't take it, doesn't even move closer. He just looks at it, then at me. And that's when I realize it's not the fruit he's acknowledging. It's the offering, an apology, a bridge, a second chance. After a moment he turns and ambles back toward the trees, leaving me crouched in the grass with my hand still outstretched. And for some reason, that small refusal doesn't sting. It feels like grace. Later that week, I'm assigned to log vocal patterns for Koba's troop. I sit on a hillside with a notepad, watching him nudge a young gorilla into climbing position. His hands are gentle, his gaze sharp. He's teaching, passing on something instinctive. I wonder if, years from now, someone will look at these logs and misunderstand him all over again. But maybe not. Because this time, someone's already listening. And this time, I'll make damn sure the truth survives the silence.